Now, it's become one of the most powerful and influential social media sites in the world. More than 200 million people use Twitter to share news and information under 140 characters. This is why we use Twitter. We don't speak. Twitter has tweeted some of its big news of its own. It's announced it's planning to offer shares to the public in a move analysts say could raise more than £6 billion. Let's hear first from Sophie Rayworth. Oh, we haven't got that. There you go. I'm going to stick to Twitter from now on. We've got the technology researcher, Vicky Beeching. Good to have you in. And
Thanks.
Did this surprise you? I mean, it was always sort of in the ether, but just the announcement last night.
Not really. I mean, we've seen Facebook take that journey already, although their shares have plummeted initially.
No, it didn't.
I mean, they're back up now, but I think it is. It's something that we would expect, but I think based on Facebook, we can only imagine really that Twitter have learned from their mistakes, and that's why they're deciding to take this step.
There was a point at which all the hacking that happened in Twitter looked as if it might not be a very solid business model. If it was that easy to get into, would you want to be a part of?
It's a good question, and also the trolling that's happened recently. It's been massive coverage of that. It makes me think that their decision to float the company will actually bring greater scrutiny on those issues. So my hope is that actually security and behaviour on the social network will actually have to be better than ever to keep everybody happy. So it could actually be in the interests of the users.
Do you think it loses its fresh edge when it gets to, what I call sort of grown-up status? There's always that danger, isn't there?
There is.
Something has a freshness to it, and it has an immediacy to it, and once, as you say, the money's involved and the sponsors are involved and the shareholders are involved, you end up with sort of, a button for this and you can't quite do that. And is that a worry?
It's a bit like finding a new band who are cool and then everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then your dad dancing.
I think the only problem could be if it really does become very commercial, we might see a lot more adverts, and I think that's the one thing that could kill Twitter.
Right.
There are already promoted tweets, as we know, and we see those from time to time in our feed.
We know how to avoid them.
We know how to avoid them, but if public pressure arises from floating the company, to really flood the whole timeline with adverts, I think that would be a big turn-off.
Because it's the same problem for Facebook, it's the same problem for a lot of these, is how to monetise. I mean, it's a free service.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel invasive at the moment, but if they actually need to monetise anytime soon, then what happens? We get
it's a fine
things
line.
in our timeline.
Right. I don't know about you, Facebook for me has become just one big barrage of, join this game, play this game, and they all want money.
Not if you do it on your phone, though, right?
Not so much, no, but I do think Facebook have gone too much down that route, and Twitter are very, very smart. I know the people there, I really respect them. I think they're going to keep that fine line between, being commercial, but also not making us feel like we've just become a marketing target.
I mean, what they could have done was sold the whole thing to somebody big, right? They could have sold it to a Microsoft or a Yahoo or something like that. What does it mean that they've decided to go this way, the IPO?
I'm not really sure. I would say they are really geniuses in their business model. I had the pleasure of sharing the stage with Jack Dorsey at a conference in California, and I just listened to everything he said and thought, wherever you take this, whichever way you go, I do think it's going to be for the best interests of this company. And I think their timing in this is interesting.
Yeah.
And whatever their motivations are, I think it's going to be, we're going to see them expand, we're going to see them move out. You've heard of Vine, that's their latest video branch.
What would be I was just going to say, if this is now sort of established almost, it is, right? When your prime ministers and the Queen, the Pope start using it, that you're sort of behind the curve, if you like.
And the Dalai Lama.
And the Dalai Lama. What is the next thing that you're interested? What is the place you would look to now?
I think I am actually interested in this new development of video tweeting. So Vine, or obviously Instagram does it.
Yeah.
And initially we thought 140 characters, what can you possibly say in that? We're being offered 6 seconds of video, or about 8 or 9 with Instagram. What can you possibly do in that much video? I think we have yet to see how a visual medium can really grow something broader and more rich than a text medium. So I think my attention is probably looking at the visual stuff.
Right. Vicky, thanks very much indeed. Thanks for coming in.